morning, sir. I'm back again with another video presentation about Chinese English. Chinese English is an interlanguage used by Mandarin-speaking English learners in China. So my outline will be presented here. First is Esperanto. Esperanto is invented by a Polish doctor, Ludwig Zamenhof. Global language is a variegated language because the globalization of English has promoted the diversification of English. Okushima, 1995. Okushima produced the word glocal, coined from global and local, to describe today's English in the meaning of having openness and internationality, and that at the same time having local self-identity as well. English now is a multinational, multicultural, multiformal, and multifunctional language. In other words, language is no longer an individual language, but a language family where many English varieties were born and are developing and coexisting. China English, a standard variety. China English is a developing variety that constructs Chinese cultural identity. In today's world, the trend of English globalization is irreversible, which means it has an increasing large amount of English-speaking population. Cochrane, 1985, divided them into three groups in the form of three concentric circles. The inner circle is where people speak English as native language. The outer circle is where people speak it as second language, and the expanding circle is where people speak it as a foreign language. China English has a very good reason to survive and even flourish both at home and abroad, since it has its own advantages on the level of phonology, lexicon, sentence, and discourse, which is not only enriches the connotation of broad Englishes, but also seeks a natural way of advertise China. According to Li Xiaohua and Yang Sulong, the reason for any language to exist is its functional value, and China English can meet every communicative purpose in the exchange between China and the world. From the early 19th century till now, China has been using English for almost 2 centuries, and now the localizations and nativization of English in China makes English a necessary part of quite a number of Chinese people's daily life. According also to an official survey, there were over 100 million Chinese who had learned English in various institutions by 1991. Let's move on to the distinct features of the level of phonology. When asked what goals they are pursuing, most of the Chinese English learners would say they want to acquire the ability to speak standard English as the native speakers do. Peter Roach put it, the idea of a standard received pronunciation is a convenient fiction, not a scientific fact. There does exist an RP, or received pronunciation, which came into acceptance in the late 19th century, but which is never generally received. Perhaps it is only used 3 to 5% of the population of England. So each English varieties has its own peculiarities in pronunciation. The phonologic level reflects the foreign nation's style and identity. Distinctive features at the level of vocabulary. We all know that languages can hardly survive in isolation, but instead should always be in close contact with one another. Owing to various factors such as colonization, migration, trade, scientific or art exchanges, and the like. According to Hu Zhaoyun, nearly all human species have to some extent borrowed words from other species owing to language contract. Hu Zhaoyun also pointed out that loan words may show a superiority of the nation from whose language they are borrowed. Distinctive features at the level of sentence. Different languages have different sentence structures that can achieve the same aesthetic results, since beauty is not a quality but an effect, and different languages have its own way to pursue beauty. Chinese prefer parataxis and they resort to reasoning for achieving logical coherence. For example, very glad to see you, long time no see. Sentences as listed above without subjects are quite typical in China English. Meanwhile, parallel structure characterized by conciseness, rhythm, and symmetric beauty also wins the affection of Chinese people and makes itself at home in China English. After analyzing the features of China English at sentence level, we can see that the distinctive sentence structures benefit English in terms of various ways of delicate expression. They can become useful and valuable stylistic devices in English. So next is the distinctive features at the level of text and discourse. Text and discourse style of a language is largely determined by the work outlook, philosophical view, value system, and thinking patterns which vary from nation to nation. China English, with its characteristics at the text and discourse level, plays an irreplaceable role in spreading and promoting China culture to the world. There are distinctive differences in the Chinese culture and Western ways of viewing, thinking, and expressing. As late Chinese paramount leader Deng Xiaoping said, "The more national it is, the more international it will be." China English, backed by the robust national economy, will sooner or later showcase its shining points and become an appealing variety worldwide. So that's it for today's video presentation. I hope you learned something today. See you on our next video discussion. Bye!